There are many things in the world that are pretty uncomfortable to talk about, and one of those things is gun violence. More than 30,000 men, women, and children are killed with guns each year in the United States. And in the United States alone. That is a very unsettling number. The U.S. makes up barely 5% of the whole world's population, and yet we hold 31% of global mass shooters. That's pretty scary, and not something that should be the norm for the world we live in today, and yet it is. And we're responsible for 80% of all gun deaths in the world. Mass shootings from schools to public places, no matter where they are rapidly increasing in our country today. Again, something that should not be accepted and just steamrolled over. I believe we need more stricter gun laws. I know the Second Amendment of the United States gives us the right to bear arms, and I believe that during the founding of our country, that is what was needed. However, the means to obtaining a gun are too easy, and it's sad that even with all the death and destruction going on with gun violence, that nothing has been increased to prevent, people who shouldn't be owning a gun, and they somehow still are owning guns when they shouldn't be. The means need to be increased. Some might say otherwise, but I believe that we should have gun rights taken away. I know it's a crazy thought, and that we see history and people throw in the fact that that's why America is what it is, because we have the freedom that other countries don't provide. But other countries also don't have our scary numbers of gun-related deaths, which is not something that I think we should necessarily be proud of. If we had more stricter laws, even just to prevent those who shouldn't have guns, maybe there would be a difference. And I know there is a process, but it is very much overlooked. They are not taken as seriously as they should be, and it's sad. U.S. gun violence would be way down if we didn't have the right to bear arms. And I know it sounds crazy again, but other countries do it, and you see for facts that their gun violence rates are so much lower than ours. The U.S. is extremely higher than others, and when we see the facts being that 31% of global mass shooters are from us, and I know I said that already, but that's just such a huge number into comparison of how little of the world we make up. Like, the ratio is unbelievable. And I know that some may say retaliation and people will rise up and freak out and things will become worse than what they were to begin with. And I know that there are many people out there that do agree with me, though. When I was in high school, I experienced a shooting. It was not a mass shooting per se, but I was in the middle of a cafeteria when one of my classmates decided to shoot herself. Gun violence is not something to joke about. It's happening every day, more and more lately, and it is hard to find the right words to say, but I think it's ridiculous that none of us are actually doing something about it. We need to be making change. We need to be going. I'm sorry. It is hard whenever you experience it to be able to talk about it and seeing someone die by a gun firsthand. It's something I would never wish on anyone. We have rights, I understand, but we also have a right to humanity to make sure we preserve it and not watch it fall apart in front of us. I believe the chance is worth the risk. There is plenty of things that could go wrong, but why think about that when you can focus on what good could come of restraining guns and stop just handing them out to the public? There are many deceitful people in the world, and there are many people who shouldn't ever own a gun. I am completely against gun violence, as I believe many people are. But I also think now is the time to make a change. People think it's crazy, but I believe world peace can be achieved. It's not something that would happen overnight, but this could be a first step. By limiting gun violence, we would be saving so many lives. And I believe that that is something worth standing for.